no thunder or a lightning display, just a heavy gray canopy obscuring the day. The leaves on the maple trees are turning upside down, a silent alert to the citizens of this town. We sit in the parlor without turning on the lamp, as the air in the residence grows heavy and damp. You are folding your laundry with a meticulous care, ignoring the electrical tension in the air. A loud argument would be a welcome relief to break the momentum of this gathering grief. But we speak in low whispers like we are inside a church, while our emotional stability is left on a perch. The rain starts to fall, but it doesn't make a sound as it absorbs into the dry, unyielding ground. A stealthy disaster that is taking its time to erode the foundations of our youth sublime. The barometric pressure is crushing our chest, and the internal anxiety will not let us rest. We are waiting for the deluge to wash us away from the silent battlefield of this ordinary day. We are weathering a quiet storm inside this apartment tonight, fighting a battle without a visible light. The destruction is subtle, but the impact is deep, infiltrating the dreams that we have when we sleep. Yeah, the flooding is gradual, but the water is high. I watch a single drop track down the window pane, a miniature river of the silent summer rain. It doesn't rattle the glass or make a dramatic scene, it just creates a barrier that settles between your side of the table and the sector I claim, as we silently assign the institutional blame for the slow expiration of the passion we fed without a single aggressive syllable being said. The carpet is soaking from the moisture below, where the hidden underground springs begin to overflow. The mold is accumulating behind the drywall sheets, a secret decay that the architecture meets. We pretend everything is structurally sound and secure, while we watch the deterioration that we have to endure. A silent catastrophe under a domestic roof, where the lack of communication is the ultimate proof. The barometric pressure is crushing our chest, and the internal anxiety will not let us rest. We are waiting for the deluge to wash us away from the silent battlefield of this ordinary day. We are weathering a quiet storm inside this apartment tonight, fighting a battle without a visible light. The destruction is subtle, but the impact is deep, infiltrating the dreams that we have when we sleep. Yeah, the flooding is gradual, but the water is high. Open the floodgates, let the torrents expand, drown the remains of this fabricated land. But the downpour is muffled and the energy is low, and the internal rivers are sluggish and slow. So we sit in the dampness as the ceilings cave in, absorbing the consequences of our quiet sin. Drip, drop, it won't stop. Submerged, submerged. Oh, we are weathering a quiet storm inside this apartment tonight, fighting a battle without a visible light. The destruction is subtle, but the impact is deep, infiltrating the dreams that we have when we sleep. Yeah, the flooding is gradual, but the water is high. Silent rain, drowning pain, deluge. An old album sits upon the dusty wooden shelf, a portrait of a boy who looks a bit like myself, beside a girl with ribbons in her tangled golden hair, sitting on a blanket in the middle of the square. The colors have all shifted into shades of pale and gray, like chemical reactions washing memories away. I trace the silver outline of your unforgettable face, stuck inside a pocket of a long-forgotten place. The Polaroid camera made a clicking sort of noise back when we were playing with our favorite childhood toys. We waited for the image to develop in the sun, counting all the seconds until everything was done. The chemical solution captured moments in a flash before our little kingdom came to crumble in a crash. Now look at how the edges are beginning to unglue, just like the connection that I shared along with you. The lens was cracked but we could see the future pretty clear. We didn't know the definition of a sudden fear, but exposure to the sunlight makes the image disappear. Look at these faded photos hanging on the bedroom wall, reminding us of times before we learned how we could fall. The smiles are getting blurry and the background starts to bleed. We lost the very map that we so desperately need. Yeah, the pictures fade away, but the shadows always stay. I found another snapshot in the pocket of my coat, wrapped around a tiny and a handwritten short note. You said you would love me till the oceans all went dry, but oceans turned to deserts and the clouds deserted sky. The camera never lies, but it omits the painful part. It doesn't show the cracking of a heavy human heart. It only shows the laughter and the sunshine on the beach, while keeping all the misery far out of human reach. I tried to remember what you said right before the click. The memory is playing like a cruel and wicked trick. The audio is missing though the visual remains, a gallery of pleasure that is shielding all the pains. The chemical emotion is decaying on the sheet, while I am walking lonely down this suffocating street. If I could take another shot, I'd change the focal length to see if our relationship possessed a greater strength. The lens was cracked but we could see the future pretty clear. We didn't know the definition of a sudden fear, but exposure to the sunlight makes the image disappear. Look at these faded photos hanging on the bedroom wall, reminding us of times before we learned how we could fall. The smiles are getting blurry and the background starts to bleed. We lost the very map that we so desperately need. Yeah, the pictures fade away, but the shadows always stay. Oh. Freeze the frame, hold your breath, don't you dare to move. We had so many arguments, we tried so hard to prove, but a photograph is static, it can never change its mind, leaving all the explanations somewhere far behind. Shake the picture, wait for light, hope it turns out fine, but you cannot rewrite the script of your life and mine. Just a ghost in a frame. I barely know your name. Look at these faded photos hanging on the bedroom wall, reminding us of times before we learned how we could fall. The smiles are getting blurry and the background starts to bleed. We lost the very map that we so desperately need. Yeah, the pictures fade away, but the shadows always stay. Mm. The thermometer plummeted below the 0 mark when we were walking slowly through the residential park. We zipped our heavy parkas up against the northern breeze, watching our breath crystallize above the frozen trees. The wool was a barrier that kept the warmth inside, but also served to complicate the feelings we would hide. We looked like two astronauts exploring outer space, insulated completely from each other's embrace. You wore a thick scarf that covered up your chin, preventing any syllables from escaping within. The buttons were massive and the fabric was so dense, a textile variation of a defensive picket fence. We held hands through our mittens, but we couldn't feel the skin. An artificial contact where no passion could begin. The winter was an excuse to keep our distance justified, while the true emotional frostbite was happening inside. The blizzard is howling and the icicles are pet, a frozen termination to a relationship we can't defend. We are wrapped in layers of defensive insulation here, too terrified of vulnerability to let each other near. We are hiding in our winter coats, shivering in the snow, waiting for a springtime that we will never know. Oh, the padding is thick, but our hearts are freezing cold, trapped inside the stories that we never fully told. Yeah, the garments protect us, but they keep us apart. I see a heavy overcoat hanging in the hall, a dark silhouette against the wallpapered wall. The pockets are filled with lint ticket stubs from plays we attended together during our warmer days. I touch the collar gently, but the texture makes me shudder, a woolen reminder of the words we didn't utter. We thought that the protection would endure until July, but summer never happens when the spirits choose to die. The radiator clanks inside the living room tonight, but it cannot alleviate the chill within our sight. We sit across the table with our heavy sweaters on, a pair of Arctic explorers whose compasses are gone. The frost is accumulating on the inside of the pain, a meteorological metaphor of our internal pain. If we took off the garments, we might perish from the cold, so we keep ourselves encased in the fibers of old. The blizzard is howling and the icicles are pet, a frozen termination to our relationship we can't defend. We are wrapped in layers of defensive insulation here, too terrified of vulnerability to let each other near. We are hiding in our winter coats, shivering in the snow, waiting for a springtime that we will never know. The padding is thick, but our hearts are freezing cold, trapped inside the stories that we never fully told. Yeah, the garments protect us, but they keep us apart. Cast the scarf into the drift, do something to accelerate the continental shift. But your fingers are too numb to manipulate the clasp, and my hands are shaking far beyond my normal grasp. So we stay encapsulated in our custom underneath the glare of freezing winter moons, so cold, too deep. Go to sleep. We are hiding in our winter coats, shivering in the snow, waiting for a springtime that we will never know. The padding is thick, but our hearts are freezing cold, trapped inside the stories that we never fully told. Yeah, the garments protect us, but they keep us apart. Heavy wood, empty soul, freeze. I found a notebook in the attic space yesterday afternoon, buried under blankets from a distant, faded June. The pages were yellow and the edges torn apart, filled with scribbled drawings of a fragile human heart. You used to fold the corners down to mark the things you said before the heavy clouds of doubt collected in your head. We were young and foolish, chasing shadows in the lawn, never thinking for a second that the daylight would be gone. You took a sheet of lined paper and made a little wing, hoping that a simple piece of wood could learn to sing. We stood upon the rooftop where the wind was blowing high, ready to release our tiny glider to the sky. It drifted for a moment, then it tumbled to the ground, into the muddy puddle without making any sound. You looked at me with teary eyes and said it was a sign that everything we ever built would fall apart in time. And now the wind is howling through the rafters of this house. The silence is so loud it seems to terrify a mouse. We try to hold the memories before they turn to dust, but every silver lining is beginning now to rust. Oh, we were flying paper planes into the stormy night, hoping they would catch a breeze and somehow take a flight. But paper cannot handle when the rain begins to pour, and we don't write those stories on the pages anymore. No, we don't write those stories on the pages anymore. I kept that little glider in a shoebox by my bed, a reminder of the heavy words that we had left unsaid. The ink began to smudge until the letters disappeared, just like the happy future that we desperately feared. I see you in the supermarket walking down the aisle. You look away so quickly, but I noticed that you smile. A stranger with a history that matches up with mine, two parallel trajectories that never will align. The neighborhood is changing and they tore the rooftop down, where we believed that we could be the rulers of this town. The concrete replaces all the grass where we once ran, and time destroys the blueprints of our very finest plan. I wonder if you ever think about that windy day, or if you threw the notebook and the memories away. The gravity is pulling every dreamer to the floor, and we don't play those silly childish games here anymore. And now the wind is howling through the rafters of this house. The silence is so loud it seems to terrify a mouse. We try to hold the memories before they turn to dust, but but every silver lining is beginning now to rust. Oh, we were flying paper planes into the stormy night, hoping they would catch a breeze and somehow take a flight. But paper cannot handle when the rain begins to pour, and we don't write those stories on the pages anymore. No, we don't write those stories on the pages anymore. Throw it to the breeze, watch it catch a sudden draft, entangled in the trees. We thought that we were pilots, but we didn't have a map. We fell into the middle of a beautiful dark track. And you can try to fix the wings with tape and piece of thread, but you can never resurrect the words that we have said. It falls down. The paper always falls down. In the end, it's just a piece of paper on the ground. Oh, we were flying paper planes into the stormy night, hoping they would catch a breeze and somehow take a flight. But paper cannot handle when the rain begins to pour, and we don't write those stories on the pages anymore. No, we don't write those stories on the pages anymore. Just a paper plane in the pouring rain. You wear long sleeves even when the weather is warm, to hide the physical evidence of your internal storm. You don't like to talk about the history you carry, or the monsters in your childhood that were terrifyingly scary. I watch you navigate the kitchen with a cautious precision, like every single movement was a life-altering decision. You protect your vulnerabilities behind a high stone wall, terrified that if you stumble you will permanently fall. I have my own trauma buried deep in my chest, a heavy metal anchor that will never let me rest. From the time my father walked out on the family home, leaving us to navigate the wilderness alone. We are two damaged individuals trying to survive, using all our energy just to stay alive. But proximity is difficult when touch causes pain, and every conversation is an emotional strain. The bandages are dirty, but we refuse to look below at the deep lacerations that we never dare to show. We are treating our symptoms with a temporary band, too terrified of surgery to let a person understand. We are examining our hidden scars in the mirror today, wishing we could wash the history completely away. The tissue is healed, but the sensitivity remains, a silent ledger of our unacknowledged pains. Yeah, the surface looks smooth, but the damage is deep. You flinch when I try to brush the hair from your eyes, an involuntary reflex that you try to disguise as a casual gesture or a sneeze in the air. But I recognize the symptoms of a deep-seated despair. We are like soldiers returning from an undeclared war, who don't know what they are fighting for anymore. The weapons are put away, but the paranoia stays, governing the conduct of our ordinary days. I found a bottle of set whispers behind the vanity glass, the chemical assistance to make the long evenings pass. You take them in secrecy before you go to bed, to quiet all the arguments that occur inside your head. I don't judge open mechanisms because I have my own, a bottle of whiskey that I consume when I am alone. We are self-medicating to survive the night, hoping that the morning will make everything right. The bandages are dirty, but we refuse to look below at the deep lacerations that we never dare to show. We are treating our symptoms with a temporary band, too terrified of surgery to let a person understand. We are examining our hidden scars in the mirror today, wishing we could wash the history completely away. The tissue is healed, but the sensitivity remains, a silent ledger of our unacknowledged pains. Yeah, the surface looks smooth, but the damage is deep. And there is no guarantee that honesty will cure. So we put our armor back on and adjust the disguise, hiding our histories from each other's prying eyes. Don't touch too much. Hey, we are examining our hidden scars in the mirror today, wishing we could wash the history completely away. The tissue is healed, but the sensitivity remains, a silent ledger of our unacknowledged pains. Yeah, the surface looks smooth, but the damage is deep. Cover it up, fill the cup, heal. The landlord gave us 30 days to vacate the address, a legal expiration of our domestic mess. The lease had expired and the renewal was denied, an external reflection of the vacancy inside. We packed our belongings into cardboard crates, accepting the reality of our separate fates. But every second passing felt like a heavy toll, an hourglass empty in the chambers of my soul. We watched the digital digits on the microwave clock, counting down the moments until the final shock. We were like tenants in a hotel room we didn't own, waiting for the bellhop to unplug the telephone. The furniture was ours, but the walls belonged to him, and the prospects of our future were looking rather dim. We tried to make a memory out of a remaining day, but the calendar was ruthless in taking it away. The interest is accumulating on the debt we owe, and there is no extension that the bankers will bestow. We are living on a currency we didn't earn or steal, and the bankruptcy of our romance is getting far too real. We are surviving on borrowed time, counting down the ticks, trying to assemble a house from broken bricks. The loan has matured and the collectors are outside. There is no longer a place where our spirits can hide. Yeah, the deadline is coming, and we cannot pay the price. I remember when we believed our resources were infinite. Every hour was a treasure, and we spent every minute of it. We didn't check the ledger or calculate the cost, never imagining the magnitude of what we eventually lost. Now we are budgeting our syllables and measuring our strides like passengers on a vessel where the captain divides the remaining water rations among a desperate crew. A tragic situation for a person like you. I see the moving van parked along the curb below, a motorized chariot that is forcing us to go. The tail lights are blinking in a rhythmic sort of thread, a visual punctuation of my absolute regret. You take the upper highway and I will take the coast, leaving behind the structure that we populated most. Our temporary lease on happiness has reached its final date, and there is no extension from the officials of fate. The interest is accumulating on the debt we owe, and there is no extension that the bankers will bestow. We are living on a currency we didn't earn or steal, and the bankruptcy of our romance is getting far too real. We are surviving on borrowed time, counting down the ticks, trying to assemble a house from broken bricks. The loan has matured and the collectors are outside. There is no longer a place where our spirits can hide. Yeah, the deadline is coming and we cannot pay the price. Stop the pendulum, smash the watch against the wall, arrest the momentum before the boulders start to fall. But gravity is absolute and chronology is strict. You cannot modify the sentences the judges will inflict. The countdown is at 0 and the buzzer starts to ring, ending the existence of our temporary thing. Tick tock, time's up, drop the cup. We are surviving on borrowed time, counting down the ticks, trying to assemble a house from broken bricks. The loan has matured and the collectors are outside. There is no longer a place where our spirits can hide. Yeah, the deadline is coming and we cannot pay the price. No more days, parting ways. 0. You wear long sleeves even when the weather is warm, to hide the physical evidence of your internal storm. You don't like to talk about the history you carry, or the monsters in your childhood that were terrifyingly scary. I watch you navigate the kitchen with the cautious precision, like every single movement was a life-altering decision. You protect your vulnerabilities behind a high stone wall, terrified that if you stumble you will permanently fall. I have my own trauma buried deep in my chest, a heavy metal anchor that will never let me rest. From the time my father walked out on the family home, leaving us to navigate the wilderness alone. We are two damaged individuals trying to survive, using all our energy just to stay alive. But proximity is difficult when touch causes pain, and every conversation is an emotional strain. The bandages are dirty, but we refuse to look below at the deep lacerations that we never dare to show. We are treating our symptoms with a temporary band, too terrified of surgery to let our person understand. We are examining our hidden scars in the mirror today, Wishing we could wash the history completely away. The tissue is healed, but the sensitivity remains. A silent ledger of our unacknowledged pains. Yeah, the surface looks smooth, but the damage is deep. You flinch when I try to brush the hair from your eyes, an involuntary reflex that you try to disguise as a casual gesture or a sneeze in the air. But I recognize the symptoms of a deep-seated despair. We are like soldiers returning from an undeclared war, who don't know what they are fighting for anymore. The weapons are put away, but the paranoia stays, governing the conduct of our ordinary days. I found a bottle of sedatives behind the vanity glass, a chemical assistance to make the long evenings pass. You take them in secrecy before you go to bed, to quiet all the arguments that occur inside your head. I don't judge your coping mechanisms, because I have my own. A bottle of whiskey that I consume when I am alone. We are self-medicating to survive the night, hoping that the morning will make everything right. The bandages are dirty, but we refuse to look below at the deep lacerations that we never dare to show. We are treating our symptoms with a temporary band, too terrified of surgery to let a person understand. We are examining our hidden scars in the mirror today, wishing we could wash the history completely away. The tissue is healed, but the sensitivity remains. A silent ledger of our unacknowledged pains. Yeah, the surface looks smooth, but the damage is deep. I dipped the fountain pen into the bottle of black ink and sat beside the desk to give myself a chance to think. The envelope is addressed to your apartment on the hill, where the air is always biting and the wind is always chill. I struggled with the opening, the greeting felt so cold, a stark contrast to stories that we previously told. My handwriting is shaky and the sentences are brief, a summary of modern love collapsing into grief. You always loved the structure of a handwritten note, the texture of the parchment and the poetry I wrote. But this is not a ballad filled with compliments and praise. It's a declaration of the end of all our golden days. I explain the exact moment when the magic disappeared, the quiet realization of the outcome that we feared. No arguments or screaming matches, just a steady decline, a mutual understanding that your path was distinct from mine. The postage stamp is fixed upon the corner of the page, the final validation of our exit from the stage. We are signing off the ledger, closing up the heavy book, without a single hesitation or a backward look. These are the last letters that I will ever send to you, a final explanation of the things we couldn't do. The ink is drying slowly, but the meaning is so clear. We ran out of sentences to keep each other near. Yeah, we spelled out our goodbye in a beautiful design. I walk down to the post box at the corner of the square. The midnight fog is thick enough to choke the heavy air. I hold the envelope above the metal opening slot, with you in every single word and every single thought. Once it drops inside the box, there is no turning back, no way to intercept the mail or alter up the track. It felt like dropping weights into a deep and dark abyss, a tragic conclusion to a love that started with a kiss. I imagine when you receive it on Tuesday afternoon, you'll slice the paper open with a silver butter spoon. Your eyes will scan the paragraphs I labored to construct, detailing how our paradise was suddenly destruct. Maybe a tear will fall and smudge the signature below, or maybe you'll be relieved to finally let it go. We carved our names in tree bark, but the wood began. We built a castle out of cardboard boxes in the yard, and swore that we would guard it like a royal palace guard. We gathered plastic jewels and we placed them on our brow, believing we were monarchs who would never disavow the promises we whispered in the safety of the dark, before the glowing embers turned into a dangerous spark. You wore a golden circlet made of yellow painted wire, shining like a beacon by our little campfire. But sovereignty is heavy for a pair of fragile kids. We closed our eyes tightly underneath our heavy lids. The rain began to fall and made the cardboard turn to mud. The royal tapestry was washed away by a summer flood. Your coronet was twisted when you dropped it on the stone. And suddenly I realized that I was all alone. The kingdom that we fancied was a figment of deceit, as royalty lay bleeding on the cobblestone street. The throne is empty and the kingdom has completely fallen down. There is no ceremony left within this haunted town. We are just two beggars who are searching for a town. We are wearing broken crowns made of vanity and pride, hiding all the secrets that we keep so deep inside. The gold is flaking off and showing rust beneath the gleam. We woke up from the nightmare of a majestic dream. Heavy is the head that wears a broken crown today. I see you walking nowadays without your royal stride. The majesty has vanished and you have nowhere to hide. Your shoulders are bent low beneath the weight of your regret, paying off a massive and an unforgiving debt. We thought we were superior to citizens below, but kings can also stumble when the heavy blizzards blow. The scepter that you carried is a broken piece of wood. You didn't rule the empire the way you said you would. The palace walls have crumbled into piles of gray debris. There is no royal navy sailing out upon the sea. We are just ordinary people, stripped of all our titles now, forced to face reality and make a final bow. The court jester is laughing at the tragedy we made, as all the vibrant colors of our coronation fade. A monarchy of madness built on shifting desert sand. We our total grip upon the promise of the land. The throne is empty and the kingdom has completely fallen down. There is no ceremony left within this haunted town. We are just two beggars who are searching for a town. We are wearing broken crowns made of vanity and pride, hiding all the secrets that we keep so deep inside. The gold is flaking off and showing rust beneath the gleam. We woke up from the nightmare of a majestic dream. Heavy is the head that wears a broken crown today. Boy, tear down the banner to extinguish all the flames. We are just commoners who played expensive games. You cannot rule a heart with an iron rusty fist. Our names were never written on the legendary list. Take off the jewelry, throw it in the dirt. No amount of royalty can insulate the hurt. Long live the king, that's what they used to sing. But it doesn't mean nothing. We are wearing broken crowns made of vanity and pride. Oh, hiding all the secrets that we keep so deep inside. The gold is flaking off and showing rust beneath the gleam. We woke up from the nightmare of a majestic dream. Heavy is the head that wears a broken crown today. Drop the crown, watch it tumble down to the ground, to the ground. The station platform flashes underneath the neon sign. A dozen sleepy passengers are standing in a line. I bought a one-way ticket to a city in the north to flee the situation that was going back and forth. The steam is rising slowly from the belly of the beast. As midnight cold is blowing from the valleys of the east. I look across my shoulder at the city lights behind, with 100 contradictions rolling heavy through my mind. You were sleeping on the mattress when I packed my leather case. I didn't leave a message in that suffocating place. The engine gave a whistle like a signal of distress. A metal rotor pulled me from this complicated mess. The conductor waves a lantern and the iron wheels rotate, a heavy movement forcing us to compromise with fate. The scenery is vanishing into a sea of black, and there is no mechanic who can put us on the track. The diesel smoke is filling up the chambers of my chest, the traveling companion on the solitary quest. We accelerated quickly, but we headed for a crash. Now our beautiful connection is a pile of burned ash. Oh, we are riding on the midnight trains, leaving ghosts behind, trying to escape the thoughts that paralyze the mind. Oh, the tracks go on forever through the darkness and the rain, but motion doesn't mitigate the presence of the pain. No fast locomotive cannot outrun the regret. watch my own reflection in the dirty window pane, juxtaposed against the drops of heavy summer rain. The passengers around me all staring at their phone, a congregation of the lost who prefer to be alone. The rhythm of the metal rails is hypnotic to the ear, a steady beat that drummed away my reservation fear. I wonder if you woke up getting noticed I was gone, or if you'll only realize when you see the morning dawn. The conductor checks my ticket with a sympathetic glance. He knows that people on this coach are running from romance. We are a collection of the broken and the bruised, who chose to be abandoned rather than to be abused. The next stop is a junction where the tracks begin to split, a geographical expression of the way that we just quit. I could switch to another line and head back to your arms, but my intuition warns me of the volatile alarm. The diesel smoke is filling up the chambers of my chest, a traveling companion on this solitary quest. We accelerated quickly, but we headed for a crash. Now our beautiful connection is a pile of burnt ash. We are riding on the midnight trains, leaving ghosts behind, trying to escape the thoughts that paralyze our mind. Oh, the tracks go on forever through the darkness and the rain, but motion doesn't mitigate the presence of the pain. No fast locomotive cannot outrun the regret. But it's too late to stop. The locomotive is moving, and it's going to take it all. Chug, 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 the engine sighs as the city dies. Oh, the engine sighs as the city dies. We are riding on the midnight train, leaving ghosts behind, trying to escape the thoughts that paralyze the mind. Oh, the tracks go on forever through the darkness and the rain, but motion doesn't mitigate the presence of the pain. No fast locomotive cannot outrun the regret. Midnight train, wash the pain, gone, gone. The barometer dropped 10 points in less than an hour, as a low-pressure system stripped the bloom from the flower. I left the house with a light linen shirt on my back, completely unaware of the atmospheric attack. You were smiling at breakfast while you poured out the tea, discussing the weekend and the places we'd see. But a phone call arrived at 9:15, and a tectonic shift split your future from mine. There was no gradual fading or slow soft decay, no warning signs pointing to a departure day, just a sudden disclosure that you couldn't undo, a brutal correction to the narrative I knew. The locks were all altered by the time I returned, and the bridge we inhabited was completely burned. I am standing on the pavement in the blistering wind, mourning the ever that so abruptly had pinned. Oh, the weather forecast forecast didn't mention this scale, and our navigational instruments completely fail. We transition from summer to an Arctic freeze in the time it takes a branch to snap from the trees. We are reeling from the sudden change in the atmosphere, trying to make sense of the chaos that is happening here. The scenery transformed in the blink of an eye, leaving us stranded underneath the foreign sky. Yeah, the whiplash is violent, and the damage is done. I found your umbrella left behind in the hall, a solitary item leaning up against the wall. It was dry and compact, never seeing the storm that erupted inside where it used to be warm. I touched the curved handle, but the plastic is cold, a physical anchor to a story grown old. In a matter of minutes we became strangers again, erasing the progress of a decade or 10. The emergency sirens are echoing loud through the panic streets of the metropolitan crowd. They are clearing debris from the collapsed highway lane, a structural casualty of this sudden strain. I sit on a bench with my head in my hands, watching the ruin of our grandest plans, a permanent fracture in a flawless design that occurred without a signal or a warning sign. The weather forecast didn't mention this scale, and our navigational instruments completely fail. We transition from summer to an Arctic freeze in the time it takes a branch to snap from the trees. We are reeling from the sudden change in the atmosphere, trying to make sense of the chaos that is happening here. The scenery transformed in the blink of an eye, leaving us stranded underneath a foreign sky. Yeah, the whiplash is violent, and the damage is done. Is completely erased, and the new reality cannot be faced. You cannot prepare for a bolt from the blue when it splits you away from the person you knew. Snap, click, now it's different, gone. We are reeling from the sudden change in the atmosphere, trying to make sense of the chaos that is happening here. The scenery transformed in the blink of an eye, leaving us stranded underneath a foreign sky. Yeah, the whiplash is violent, and the damage is done. Shifted ground, no more sound, a blaze, ablaze. I walk along the perimeter of the industrial district zone, underneath the orange sodium lamps, entirely alone. The asphalt is shimmering from the recent autumn shower, and the municipal clock tower strikes the midnight hour. I pass the storefronts with their iron grills pulled down tight, a bleak urban landscape in the middle of the night. I remember when we strolled it holding hands in the spring, before our affection became a completely disposable thing. The alleyways are cluttered with debris and discarded crates, a geographical reflection of our unforgettable separate fates. I see my breath condensing in the chilly morning air as I search for your shadow in the public market square. But the citizens are strangers with their collars pulled up high, averting their gazes as they hurry quickly by. We used to own this neighborhood, we knew every single lane, but now it's just a maze that is amplifying my pain. The city planning commission didn't design this grid for love, and the smoke is accumulating in the sky up above. We are navigating avenues that have forgotten our name, and the environment around us will never feel the same. We are wandering these lonely streets under a foggy sky, searching for the reasons why our connection had to die. The concrete is unforgiving and the avenues are wide, leaving no location where our broken hearts can hide. Yeah, the metropolitan pavement is a cold place to sleep. I found a graffiti drawing on the brick warehouse wall that we painted together right before the final fall. The spray paint is flaking and the colors are obscure, a visual reminder of a bomb that couldn't endure. A police cruiser passes with its siren flashing blue, an intrusive interruption to my memories of you. I turned down a side street to avoid the flashing light, disappearing further into the shadows of the night. The subway station entrance is a gaping concrete mall, sucking in the workers under the municipal law. I look down the staircase, but I cannot find the strength to traverse the underground system for its total linear length. I prefer the surface even if the wind is biting cold, because the subterranean tunnels make me feel incredibly old. I am a pedestrian without a destination or a home, condemned for eternity through these outer sectors to roam. The city planning commission didn't design this grid for love, and the smoke is accumulating in the sky up above. We are navigating avenues that have forgotten our name, and the environment around us will never feel the same. We are wandering these lonely streets under a foggy sky, searching for the reasons why our connection had to die. The concrete is unforgiving and the avenues are wide, leaving no location where our broken hearts can hide. Yeah, the metropolitan pavement is a cold place to sleep. Cross the intersection, ignore the pedestrian sign. Do something to bridge the gap between your world and mine. But the traffic is relentless and the engines are too loud, and your figure is swallowed by the rushing morning crowd. So I stand on the curb while the city rushes past, realizing that the isolation is permanent at last. Walk, don't walk, talk. No more talk, no more talk. Lost, we are wandering these lonely streets under a foggy sky, searching for the reasons why our connection had to die. The concrete is unforgiving and the avenues are wide, holy carpet dampens every footstep that I take. I listen for a sound to prove that I am still awake. The grandfather clock is ticking, but the pendulum is slow. A steady rhythmic pulse that watches hours come and go. Your winter coat is missing from the hook behind the door, and dust is settling softly on the hardwood parlor floor. I remember how your laughter used to bounce against the wall before the shadow of the winter came to change it all. I sit upon the mattress in the corner of space and try to reconstruct the faint expression on your face. The window pane is frosted with a delicate design, an icy barrier between your world and mine. There are no echoes traveling across the empty hall, just heavy drapes that smother every whisper, large or small. We used to talk until the morning sun began to rise, but now the stillness is a blanket covering our eyes. The furniture is covered up in sheets of ghostly white, a graveyard of conversations buried in the night. We spent our energy on building walls instead of bridges here, until the noise of loneliness was all that we could hear. Now we are living in these silent rooms, trapped inside our minds, searching for a trace of love that neither of us finds. The architecture of our youth is crumbling to stone. We share a roof, but technically we are completely alone. Yeah, the silence is a weapon that is cutting to the bone. I found a coffee mug you left upon the kitchen countertop, the dark stains at the bottom where the liquid had to stop. A physical reminder of a morning routine shared before we reached the point where neither person really cared. The refrigerator hums a low and melancholy tune beneath the silver glare of a July afternoon. I touch the handle gently, but I do not open wide. There's nothing left to nourish the starvation deep inside. The neighbors think we moved away because there is no light illuminating windows in the middle of the night. We sit in darkness saving on the electricity bill, as if a cheaper lifestyle could cure a mental ill. The floorboards do not creak because we walk so very light, like thieves inside a museum, escaping from the side. We perfected the behavior of a pair of quiet ghosts, destroying everything that we previously loved the most. The furniture is covered up in sheets of ghostly white, a graveyard of conversations buried in the night. We spent our energy on building walls instead of bridges here, until the noise of loneliness was all that we could hear. Now we are living in these silent rooms, trapped inside our minds, searching for a trace of love that neither of us finds. The architecture of our youth is crumbling to stone. We share a roof, but technically we are completely alone. Yeah, the silence is a weapon that is cutting to the bone. Crush us as we fall, but you just stare ahead into the middle of the air with the paralyzed expression of a thorough deep despair. Shh, listen close. It's the sound of nothing left. Now we are living in these silent rooms, trapped inside our minds. completely alone. Yeah, the silence is a weapon that is cutting to the bone. Just a silent room,